Okay, and here we are once again. Good evening, folks. Welcome to Friday Night Tech Talk. I'm Mobile Geezer. You're on my channel, obviously. And if this is your first time here, welcome. We do this every Friday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time from the U.S. But of course, we have subscribers and people watching from different parts of the world. So glad you're all here. And Brian has been on a roll lately. He's been getting here good and early. So he got here at 7:21. I'm glad you're here. And right behind him, Eleanor came in and she had a very busy work week. So I'm glad that she's off for the weekend. And Renz, I assume Renz is at work. And looks like he's probably there already, which I did respond to him. And we got All Chan on deck. All Chan, thanks for coming by, brother. Glad you're watching. Oh, thank you very, very much. So, this week, I hope you're not going to be bored. First, let me show you, any of you who don't know, where to see tonight's stories. That'll be on my website. So let me share screen and go over there. And let me get rid of some of my branding stuff for the moment. See if I can get some of it off. Okay. And let's go. Okay. So if you go to mobilegeezer.wordpress.com, that's my website. First today's date, first thing you'll see will be with today's date. You click on that date, you're going to get tonight's stories, and that's all you're going to get. So you can follow along right there. And while we're here, I'll show you what we're going to be talking about tonight. And what I said was this week's theme, AI, especially chatbots. And of course, I did bring you some stuff about ChatGPT last week, and that Windows was heavily invested in it. Didn't know they were going to be making a presentation right away this week, but they did, and they did a very good job of it. I didn't get to watch the presentation live, but I did go back and watch the whole thing. I think they did an excellent presentation. And so our first story is going to be about that. And I just said in this corner, the challenger of Bing with ChatGPT. And I pulled that from Chat Radar. That's all anybody is talking about. So you got Bing with ChatGPT. You can sign up for it now. You can't quite get there yet. This is what you get if you go there, and that is new, but you're not quite getting Bing with ChatGPT yet. I saw another video I was following on another channel, and he said they finally sent him an email saying it was ready. And then when you go there, you'll see all the ChatGPT stuff, but you'll see some of it in the story. But it's very hot. And then they did theirs, I believe, on Tuesday. Wednesday, Google, I think, is in total panic mode here. They did their introducing Bard, and this is from their blog, and Sundar Pichai is presenting it, and he does a nice job there. But from then on, the rest of Google's week, not so hot. So then they had their, I called it the Google ad, and the Google ad was on Twitter. I called it Bard's costly mistake. I have it on Android Authority, and it's not good because this was their first ad for their new chat, Bard, and it screwed up. Then I can't say they screwed it up. It screwed up. They didn't see it, and they put the ad out there. So you'll see that. And right away, their shares dropped. And I got that on abc.net. I took it from the Australian, but there's a lot of stories about it. But they screwed up and they lost some money right away. I think they dropped 7-point-something% in their shares as soon as the screw up. And they had 2 screw ups this week, so you'll see those. So finally, just to give you something different than those two, I said, how about an AI-generated TV station? And this is an actual TV station that's on Twitch, and they're doing a show based off of, what do you call his name? What's the comedian from the 90s? Oh, let me go look. Seinfeld. Sorry about that. Anyway, this TV show is kind of based on Seinfeld, and I gather they do a nice job with it. I haven't watched it yet, but I gather anybody can go watch it, so you'll see that when we get to the story. And finally, I had one more. Like I said, let's switch to AR. Here's a monocle that you can put on your glasses that'll give you AR. And they're supposed to be shipping it like kind of right away. I'm going to wait till I see it ship, but I probably going to get this thing. So we'll get to everything. So let's get back to the comments. Brian says, welcome to the screen, old Chan on deck. And Brian Sundar said he has taken responsibility for laying off those 12,000. Yes, they did lay off those 12,000 workers. Oh, and everybody has been giving Apple a lot of kudos for being the only one of the biggies that didn't lay off a bunch of workers. Well, I saw a story. I didn't get to read it all. But the reason Apple didn't lay off a bunch of workers is because a bunch of their employees agreed to a pay cut. If you gave me a choice between losing my job or a pay cut, I'd take the pay cut too. So, yes, we can give Apple some credit for not laying off thousands of people like everybody else did, but it's because they asked their employees to take a pay cut, and their employees did take a pay cut. So I gather that's it. And here's Ted. Ted's here. Glad you're here, brother. Of course, you've got the link if you feel like coming in. So I'm going to go back, and we're going to go back to the top. We're going to start on tonight's stories. So as I said, this week's theme, AI. So we're going to start with Tech Radar. So this was from the other day, one day ago, actually. Hands-on with the impressive ChatGPT powered Bing. So now it's built into Bing, and I gather it's better than ChatGPT itself. Like I said, I'm waiting for my email to tell me it's ready, but I can show you something. I believe I did just for the heck of it the other day. Let me see if I can do another. Let's see, let's stop this screen. See if I can do another one. I'm going to share screen. And so this, when I got on ChatGPT the other day, and of course I didn't come up with any incisive questions. I just wanted to see, am I on it okay? That's when I think I told you last week, when I first tried to get on ChatGPT, it was too busy and they would tell me it would let me later. But I did try it again a couple of days ago. And I just said, what are you? I am a language model AI developed by OpenAI. My purpose is to generate text based on the input given to me and provide helpful info. So it is working. And so I just continued, what is your relationship to humans? As an AI language model, I do not have personal relationships or emotions. I exist to assist humans by generating text and providing information to the best of my ability. I have been trained on a large data set of text, and my responses are based on that training, and that is true. And then I said, what is your percentage of right to wrong responses? And it said, as an AI language model, I do not have a fixed accuracy rate. I don't know that they'd give us that anyway. My responses are generated based on the input and context provided, and the quality of the response can vary depending on the complexity of the prompt and the available information. And yes, it can give you some wrong answers. I have already seen that on some people's. It's important to note that I am not perfect and can make mistakes or provide misleading information. So it's always good to double check the accuracy of my responses. So that was my first day getting something. So today I went back in and I tried to get on Bing, but Bing isn't ready for me yet. So I did get on ChatGPT, and I tried to get it to read the first blog post on my website. So I said, read the first. Oh, sorry. Didn't present that screen yet, did I? Okay, here we go. Okay, it's this one. Okay. So I said, read the first blog post at mobilegeezer.wordpress.com. And it said, I'm sorry, but as an AI language model, I do not have direct access to the internet, which I kind of thought it did, and cannot browse websites like a human. However, if you provide me with the content of the blog post, I can try to help you with any questions you may have. So I went back and I said, read me this blog post. This is the one by Sundar Pichai. And it said, certainly here's a summary. So it didn't read me the post, but it gave me a summary of the entire blog post. So I thought that was pretty good. So I just wanted to let you guys see what I'm seeing, but both of these is with ChatGPT, not with the Bing website. So, all right, so let's go back to the first story. And let's see. And we've got Annette. Hey, Annette, glad to have you here. She said almost on time. That's all right. We're grateful you're here. Okay. So back to the first story. Okay. Hands-on with the impressive ChatGPT powered Bing. So this was Microsoft's presentation. This was their story of the presentation. And like I said, I watched the whole thing. I thought they did a very good presentation. This is by Lance Ulanoff. Wait, is Bing the future of search? Yeah, I think it very well may be. Let's go into reader view. So, ChatGPT and Bing, who knew they could be so good together? Welcome to the AI wars, not the kind we imagine where Skynet launched a surprise missile attack on its makers, thank God. One in which companies are all vying to be the dominant source of your artificial intelligence connection. Well, two companies are anyway. To put this powerful technology at your and everyone else's fingertips, and at the tip of this spear are somewhat unexpectedly Microsoft and Bing, and that's true. And they've, like I said, I think they've done a very good job here. Here's the crazy thing, though. I've seen and tried Microsoft's new Bing search engine, and I can't quite get it yet. It's not quite ready for me yet. And it's powerful chatbot, which Microsoft unveiled in a Redmond, Washington event on Tuesday, which they did. And I think Microsoft may have just won the first skirmish of this crucial tech dominance battle. I agree 100%, especially after what Google went through this week. This could improbably be Bing's moment. And by moment, I mean when you finally start realizing or caring that Microsoft has a search engine of its own for well over a decade, which nobody used. Well, almost nobody. You might want to start using Bing. And I actually did set up Bing tonight because I figure, okay, I'm going to have to start using it. At least as soon as you can get access to the first iteration of Bing and its new chatbot, which I luckily have access to right now, which is cool. New look, new AI powers. Now, of course, this is what it looks like when you bring it up. And like I said, when I bring mine up, oh, that's exactly what mine looks like, but it's not into the chatbot for me yet. The new Microsoft Bing search box. It accommodates 1,000 characters. The chatbot window can hold 2,000 characters, but mine looks exactly the same right now. And it didn't look like that yesterday, so it's getting somewhere. I know Microsoft's announcement of a new chatbot enhanced search engine comes just 24 hours after Google unveiled its ChatGPT rival Bard. I thought Microsoft was first because they did theirs on Tuesday and Google was Wednesday. That's how I think it came, the order I think it came. And plans to reinvent its own much more popular search engine. But here's the difference. Google's Bard is coming soon. The new Bing is here now. That's true. And it works as you would want and expect an Ask Me Anything search engine to work. Yeah, and there's lots of examples out there, and they seem to do a great job. In some ways, the new Bing looks a lot like the old Bing, but it's not. The desktop version, which is available now, when we followed by a mobile one, neither hides nor forces AI chat on you. No, it kind of puts it off to the side, I think. Obviously, the interface looks different. There's a new chat option in the menu. Yeah, and you can't see that in this one until you have full access. And you can even slide between the main search screen and the one devoted entirely to the chat bot. Back on the search screen, the query box is much larger, accommodating up to 1,000 characters for pretty much any natural language question you can cook up. You can, and I did, type in virtually anything you want in that space. Microsoft says most people type in an average of 2.4 words in the search box, but that's operating within the parameters and confines of a typical search engine. To be clear, Microsoft is not reinventing the wheel here. Most people are already typing lengthy queries into Google search and getting a decent keyword-based results. However, the new Bing takes this thought a step further. Yes, Microsoft does a much better job in the second and succeeding steps, I'd say. Ask it anything. So you can see here's one they did. What car should I consider buying, or AWE, blah, blah, blah. It gives you all this information, but we'll go more into it. As we were typing our various queries, which include a vanity search on MOI and longer ones asking about baking blueberry muffins for someone who's allergic to gluten and milk, Bing was collecting the standard fare like Wikipedia results on me and muffin recipes from various foodie sites. If you were to look at only the center of the screen, you could assume nothing has changed, but populating somewhat more slowly on the right is a new box full of more conversational results from Bing's chat box that they showed. Yeah. So when you type it in here, over here, this gives you all the stuff from the chat bot. And I gather you can keep going further and further in depth there. The results are like its cousin ChatGPT, but also not. Microsoft basically took OpenAI's work on ChatGPT and with OpenAI's help, iterated on it, put the formidable power of Azure Cloud Services behind it, and combined it with Bing's Knowledge Graph to create what's called Prometheus Model. Oh, and by the way, you saw that I was in the ChatGPT, but you have to go to OpenAI and sign up for that, and they let you in right away. But that's how I got into ChatGPT. The Bing Chat integration with Microsoft Edge Barrett lets you go beyond the information you find on a page to gather more sources and gain additional information. And it gives you all the sources that it found the information on too, which is pretty cool. Pardon me. Going deeper and further. In each case, the chat result expanded on the results in more detail. And because it's conversational, that first result can be just the beginning of a longer conversation. Like I said, you can go more and more in depth. On my vanity search, we got the details about my career, but then asked the chatbot if I'd ever won any awards. I found the ones I did and the ones where I was runner-up. Thanks for that reminder, new Bing. At the bottom of that right-hand chat box result is a Let's Chat button that lets you deepen the query with additional results. So that's right here. On my baking question, I got details specifically about how to find ingredients that wouldn't bother my allergic friend. What's notable about some, but not all, of these results is how, unlike ChatGPT, every reference is cited in place, and that's cool. I only had to float over one to see the source or click through to visit the origin page. That's very good. In the chat screen, every result returns additional guiding questions to continue your search. That's great. When I launched a search about working out my quads without hurting my back, I lied and told Bing I injured it last summer. Bing responded by telling me how sorry it was that I hurt my back, adding, I hope you're feeling better now. Building your quads or quadriceps femurs can be challenging if you have back pain, but there are some exercises that can help you without hurting your back. So it sounds like it's very thorough. Then suggested a long list of well-cited exercise options. Quick sip. The list was extensive and full of citations. With Bing's new chatbot, most of the necessary citations are baked into the results. We have already seen some results, though, that don't include a reference, like one a colleague did on exercise options that was link-free, despite recommending a few different workout options. The concern here would be that the chatbot didn't even account for the possibility that the person searching can't handle those kinds of activities, but I'm sure you could go a little deeper and it would let you know. It's my guess. Anyway, I'm not going to read every word, but I just wanted to let you guys see Microsoft seems to have done a great job incorporating this into Bing, and I watched their entire presentation after the fact, and I thought they did a great presentation. So let's get rid of that. Let's stop screen. Okay, let's see. Ted says, ask ChatGPT who is better CEO between Sundar and Tim Cook based on the number of employees. No, I'm not going to ask them that. Damone 77's here. Glad you're here, brother. Brian 12,000 voted Tim Cook is better. Oh, okay. So Brian looked it up. Okay, that's a shocker. And Damone said, "I vote George for president." Okay, thank you. I wouldn't, but I appreciate it. I need to let you know there's a couple of interviews out there with what's his name from? Boy, I'm losing it today. Let me go back in here for a second. Pardon my holdup, folks. I'm just trying to check some things out here. Okay, before I go into the Google part of this, you should know that there's a couple of interviews out there with Satya Nadella. One with The Verge that was very good, and one with the Wall Street Journal that was really, really excellent. He's calm. I just admire the guy. He seems to be doing this stuff right, and it's worth watching both of those interviews. So let me go back to sharing screen. Back to the second story. Okay, now this was okay. So this so Monday, so Bard was first. Didn't realize that, but Sundar wrote this on Monday, and this was on Google's keyword blog. And I'm not going to read it all. I'm just going to show you how he introduced it. So he said an important next step to our AI journey. And this is by Sundar. And let's see if I can put this into, well, I don't think we have to worry about ads, so we don't have to put it into reader view. AI is the most profound technology we are working on today. Whether it's helping Doctors detect diseases early or enabling people to access information in their own language. AI helps people, businesses, and community, and we know all of that, blah, blah, blah. So introducing Bard. It's a really exciting time to be working on these technologies as we translate deep research and breakthroughs into products that truly help people. That's the journey we've been on with large language models. 2 years ago, we unveiled the next generation language and conversation capabilities powered by our language model for dialogue applications, LaMDA. Yeah, they've been telling us about LaMDA for 2 years. We've been working on an experimental conversational AI service powered by LaMDA that we're calling Bard. Now, if you don't know what Bard means, a bard is an old English word for storyteller, and that's what they used to call what's his name? Who's the most famous English playwright of all time? Lost it. Somebody remind me. We've been working on an experimental conversational AI service powered by LaMDA that we're calling Bard. And today we're taking another step forward by opening it up to trusted testers ahead of making it more widely available in the public in the coming weeks. Bard seeks to combine, yes, thank you, Ted, Shakespeare. You know, strange thing about, I've read every single one of Shakespeare's plays more than once. Isn't that weird that I would forget his name? Okay. Bard seeks to combine the breadth of the world's knowledge with the power, intelligence, creativity of our large language models. So this goes on and on. It tells you how Bard is going to interact with us and teach, and we can ask it all kinds of stuff. And the only reason I put this in here is so you to prepare you for what's coming next. So I'm going to get out of this one. And then I said the Google ad, and this was on Twitter, the ad, Bard's costly mistake. And this one was on Android Authority, but believe me, everybody had this story. Google's Bard AI, stay still, stumbles out of the gate, makes costly error in first demo. Google's parent company lost more than $100 billion in the market value after that error. So this really cost them. And this wasn't their only mistake this week either. So let's put this in reader view. Google posted a GIF on its AI chatbot, Bard in action. Astronomers on Twitter pointed out that Google's new tool made a mistake. After news of the flub spread, shares of Alphabet dropped by 8. I think it actually dropped by 7.7% or something like that. We'll see that. Yesterday, Microsoft held a surprise AI event where, and I told you about that event, where it performed a live demo of its AI-powered Bing search engine. Not to be outdone, Google posted a demo. So obviously, Google was posting a demo. They weren't ready with their presentation until Wednesday. But they posted a demo on Twitter of its own AI chatbot. However, things didn't go exactly as planned. It's no secret that the overwhelming popularity of ChatGPT has Google worried. Yeah, everybody knows that. To compete against this threat to its business, Google revealed its own AI chatbot, Bard, and I think they panicked and did this way too fast. The tool can produce intelligent responses to natural language queries by using information scraped from the internet. And remember, they're presenting Bard, but we have no access to it yet, while people already have access to it on Bing. So Microsoft's ahead on this one right now. A day after Microsoft's AI-powered Bing Live demo, Google posted a GIF on Twitter showing its new AI tool in action. The GIF shows Bard answering the question. Now, here's where they screwed up. What new discoveries from the James Webb Space Telescope can I tell my 9-year-old about? So Bard then provides a bulleted list of answers. In the last bullet point, it says, the James Webb Space Telescope took the very first pictures of a planet outside of our own solar system, which is not true. Astronomers on Twitter We're quick to point out that this information was false. Astrophysicist Grant Tremblay later tweeted the post explaining that the first image of a planet outside of our solar system was taken in 2004. This is before the James Webb Space Telescope was even created. So that was their big screw up, and they lost some money because of that. While this flub may not be a funny moment for someone social, maybe a funny moment for someone social, Google is all but laughing. Not long after word of the mistake spread, shares of Google's parent company Alphabet reportedly dropped by 8%. This resulted in a loss of more than $100 billion in market value. So that was a quick reaction. And I think it was less than a couple of hours that happened. So just wanted you guys to see that. So that was Google's first screw up. So let me get out of here. And I'm not positive I have it in the next stories. Okay. So let me go down. So Google, so I just threw in this story from ABC News in Australia, but the whole world had this story. Alphabet shares dived by 144 billion after Google AI chatbot Bard makes an error in ad. So, the stock price plummeted by 7.7%. So that was not good. So I just wanted you guys to see that. And that story was all over the place. So... Sorry, guys. Somehow I got myself out of the studio for a second. Thank God it let me right back in. So I think I got rid of my... Yeah, there it is. So let me go back to my next presentation. All right, so this was Google's event live from Paris. And this was on Wednesday. The Google Parents event. And here's what I wrote. I said, for me, in a word, boring. Now, if you guys know me, I've seen lots of Samsung, Apple, Google events. I have never, ever used the word boring. This bored me. It was an okay presentation. It showed you what they could do, but the event itself was boring. And even this was on VentureBeat. They even said Google Live in Paris event offers muted response to Microsoft's race in search. Yeah, it was just kind of a boring presentation. So Google declined to offer much new information about its Bard conversational AI search tool powered by the Lambda model at a live YouTube stream from the company's Paris office. It repeated what had been written by Sundar, which I showed you in the blog post. It appeared to be a muted response because, they were panicking to Microsoft verbiage at its event yesterday and at Microsoft headquarters in Redmond, Washington, where CEO Satya Nadella said the race starts today in search and that we're going to move fast. And believe me, you should watch, especially that Wall Street Journal interview with him because he did a great interview there. After the event, Google share plunged 8%. Bye-bye, we know all that. Google will release Bard to trusted testers this week. So theirs is not out yet. Microsoft's is. That's the big problem here. Lady Red's in here. Glad to see you, Lady Red. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, sorry about that. I clicked the wrong button. Thank God. It used to be when you clicked out of StreamYard, it took you forever to get back in, but now they've made it so that if you're right, you can just click and get right back in. Thank God. Okay. He said Google will initially release Bard with a lightweight, modern version of Lambda. this much. So it's still lightweight. I still think that Microsoft is probably way ahead of them on this because I don't think they were ready for this. This much smaller model needs significantly less computing power, which means we'll be able to scale it to more users and get more feedback. So I'm guessing because they weren't ready for what Microsoft is doing with Bing, that yeah, it's a much smaller model. My guess is they weren't going to use Lambda in the first place. They were probably developing Bard as something else, and now they've had to stick Lambda inside Bard somehow. So the whole thing seemed like panic. But anyway, so they had this presentation, and they did a pretty nice presentation. Boring though it was kind of showed everything you could do and how you could use it in 3 different ways. But the lady was showing some searches at one point, and she says, let me show you what else it can do on the phone. Well, they could not find her phone, and they never did find the phone. So that, again, looked really bad, like they weren't really ready for their own presentation, which adds to the fact that they just did a panic event, I think. What she did with her phone, I have no idea. Lance Ulanoff, watching Google's Paris event, which somehow does not seem as momentous as what Microsoft just unveiled, not even close. Oh, and somebody had written, I saw a post somewhere, that they had taken the entire event offline, but I was able to watch the whole thing before they did that. So, but they showed you how you could use Lens in your answers, and they did a nice job, but it was just kind of boring. And the fact that she couldn't find her phone and finish that off was pretty embarrassing. Also, did they just lose a phone during the demo? Yes, they did. So all in all, Microsoft had a pretty bad week all in all. And Google had a pretty bad week all in all. And Microsoft is still having a good week. And right now, Microsoft is ahead of Google, which I think 70% of all of Google's money comes from search. So this is pretty terrifying for Google, I'm sure. So just wanted to get all of that in there to let you guys say that Microsoft had a very good week. Google had a very bad week. And I gather that is still going on. Pardon me. Google, I think, is still playing catch up. And Lady Red said, you would think she would have used the Find My... Yeah, exactly. If you can't use the Find My Phone app at Google, where can you use it? But she could not find it. She spent about, I'd say, 25 seconds looking for it. And then she finally said to the other guy, okay, we're not finding phone. And she passed it back to the other guy, and that was that. So that was pretty embarrassing, especially if the bot had already screwed up on Twitter the day before. So they didn't have a good week at all. So that's all the Bard and ChatGPT stuff I wanted to show you from both Google and Microsoft. And Microsoft seems to be way ahead at the moment, and we'll see how Google... I'm going to guess that Google will catch up pretty quick, but they've got to get past this embarrassing stuff. And I can tell you, as somebody who programmed for 34 years, when you're programming in panic mode, bad things happen. Been there, done that, trust me. And bad thing, when you're programming in panic mode, bad things always happen right in front of people. That's what always happens. Okay, back to the comments. Yeah, Jamal said it would be funny if she had came out with an iPhone. Well, that wouldn't be true, but she just had no idea what she did with that phone. I guess this was all thrown together, and Sundar wasn't even there. The other guy was ahead of it, and he was in Paris, and Sundar wasn't even part of it. So obviously they threw this thing together trying to respond to Microsoft, and they just didn't do a good job of it. This is what happens when you panic. So let's get off that stuff. And I'm going to go to something that's kind of cute and a lot lighter. So let me go back to sharing screen. So I said, how about an AI-generated TV station? This was on Digital Trends, which I thought this was very cool. I haven't watched it yet, though. An AI-generated TV channel is mimicking 90s sitcoms to nightmarish effect. I don't know why he said nightmarish effect. Maybe we'll see. This is by Fiona Agomore. I butchered that name, but I don't think I'm going to get any better at it. Okay, so let's put this into reader view. I just thought this was a cute story. The latest use of AI generation comes in the form of a TV show that has popped up on Twitch TV and earned, I guess, tens of thousands of fans in just a few days. And anybody can get to this, I gather. The show, called Nothing Forever, mimics the format of the 1990s sitcom Seinfeld, where a group of friends discuss the goings-on of their lives. The popular show was known as the show about nothing in its heyday, and the AI-generated web show pays homage to its name. So the main character, Larry, I guess that's him, is a comic who does intermittent stand-up bits between scenes of the show, which takes place in his apartment. There are also shots of the outside of the computer-generated New York brownstone where he lives, which closely resembles the location of the actual sitcom. The characters in the show are the above-mentioned Larry, as well as Fred, Yvonne, and Cackler. They are generated to resemble Jerry Seinfeld, George Costanza, Elaine Benes, and Cosmo Kramer from the inspired show, respectively. The web show's creator, Mismatch Media, is a media lab that uses OpenAI's GPT-3. That's the one before Microsoft is using now, because ChatGPT is GPT-4, to develop the tongue-in-cheek scenarios of Nothing Forever, in addition to Larry's stand-up. In one scene, for example, Yvonne mentions getting a new cat, which she has named Mr. Pickles. Fred says Mr. Pickles is an unusual name for a cat unless you really like pickles. Larry then asks if she would feed the cat pickles. Yvonne replies she would feed the cat food, but would like to give him pickle slices as an occasional treat. Fred then wonders if this would cause her to develop any unusual cravings, such as a pickle and mustard sandwiches. Laugh track ensues, followed by music similar to the Seinfeld episode. He even copied the Seinfeld beat. Okay. According to Mismatch Media, everything seen, heard, or experienced on the show, except for the artwork, likely the branding, which resembles the Seinfeld branding, and laugh track, is uniquely computer generated through machine learning and AI algorithms. That's pretty cool. The show is intended to work in a consistently streaming fashion, with fresh AI content always being generated. In addition to legitimate Twitch TV ads, there are periodic breaks in the show where the stream displays an on-screen TV guide showcasing various television programs such as All My Children, Access Hollywood, The Late Late Show. This could potentially be an entertaining opportunity for the creators to generate new content while still being live and on air. That's true. Currently, all viewers, and this is for everybody, can tune into Nothing Forever for free, with or without a Twitch TV account. Well, that's good. However, you will need an account if you wish to comment in the live chat. The web show garnered between 11,600 and 12,500 viewers throughout the day on Friday. That's pretty cool. So I guess that was last Friday. I do have a Twitch sign in, but I haven't used it in years. It'll be interesting to see if I can get in there. The Media Lab said it has plans to open subscriptions to its channel. However, it currently offers a Patreon for $5 a month. Fans can also join the show's Discord. So I just thought that was cool that it had this. It's generating its own TV shows based on Seinfeld. So pretty cool stuff, I thought. Let's get out of review. Let's get out of here and stop screen and see what I see. Okay, the comments. Oh, Damone says the stream is off Twitch. Okay. He says, thanks for checking for us, Damone. He says, this channel is temporarily unavailable. Oh, due to a violation of Twitch's community guidelines or terms of service. So I guess the people generating the AI TV show did something that violated the terms of service. I'm just wondering, did they get inundated with too many users because of the stories? I don't know. Anyway, interesting. So hopefully we'll all get to see it at some point once they straighten out their guidelines or terms of service. So I just thought that was a very cute idea, and we're probably going to be seeing more TV shows generated from AI. And I forgot to tell you folks, Mike probably would not be here today because he's got his new Mac Mini, and I don't think he could get it set up in time or the way he wanted for tonight's show. Anyway, I think that's what he was telling me when he sent me a text. Lady Red said, I didn't even know Twitch had guidelines. I didn't either, but I guess they all have some kind of guidelines. So that's interesting. Yeah, well, they would have to because they don't want you getting too foul or, too violent. So it makes sense. Okay, so my last thing, share screen once more. This is my last story. And I just said, let's switch to AR, a monocle for your glasses. I am probably going to buy this thing, probably in not too distant future. So let's go look. This was on Liliputing. Brilliant Monocle. The Brilliant is the name of the company that makes it, and it's called Monocle. Is an open source augmented reality device that clips onto your glasses by Brad Linder. And this was from 3 days ago. So let's go to review, get rid of some of these ads. Facebook's parent company has been spending billions of dollars attempting to make its vision for the metaverse a thing, but you don't need to buy into Meta's vision to play in the virtual and augmented reality space. Good. There are plenty of other companies cranking out VR and AR headsets, and if you're looking for something a little more hacker-friendly, there's the Monocle from Brilliant Labs. And this is what it looks like, and it just hangs on one side of your glasses. The Brilliant Monocle is a small circular device that you can clip onto any pair of glasses. It's a heads-up display with a camera, microphone, Bluetooth connectivity, and touch buttons. And the design and software are all open source, which is good. Brilliant has been working on the Monocle for a few years and announced their project to the world in mid-2022. This is the first I've heard of it. I just think it's cool. It's currently, now get this, available for purchase at $349, and according to the Monocle website, it's now shipping in monthly batches, and I did go check, and that's what it says. Although that message might be a bit premature. The latest updates posted in the company's Discord suggest that the manufacturing is nearly complete, and the first batch should be shipping soon. That's why I said I'm going to wait, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up getting this thing, assuming it works. That said, the hardware has been finalized. The Monocle features a 640 by 400 pixel color OLED display with a 20-degree field of view when clipped onto a pair of glasses. Now, there's a GoWin GW1N LV9 MG100 C615 FPGA, say that 5 times fast, that the company says can be programmed for computer vision, AI, or graphics, and support for Bluetooth 5.2 for connecting to a phone or another device. So you can program some of this stuff yourself. And I said to myself, This is using, I think somewhere it tells us what language. So let me keep reading. The Monocle is powered by a 70 milliamp battery that should offer up to 2 hours of runtime and comes with a charging case featuring a 450 milliamp battery, allowing you to recharge up to 6 times on the go. And then there's, I guess it's charging case. Other features include integrated touch buttons, a 5 megapixel camera that can catch a 720p video, 12 megabytes of addressable memory. That's good if you are a developer, and 8 megabytes of serial flash storage. The Monocle ships, here it is, with MicroPython based, so it's obviously written in Python, operating system, and it can be paired with your smartphone thanks to Brilliance mobile apps for iOS and Android. And when I read that, I said to myself, okay, I've programmed in Java, JavaScript, VB, so I ought to be able to learn Python, because if I do get this, I may want to actually program something for it myself. That's just my thought at the moment. But the company says users can create and flash their own custom firmware as well. Exactly. While the Monocle is currently designed to attach to an existing pair of glasses, if you don't normally wear glasses, which I only wear them when I'm doing stuff like this, you could probably pick up a cheap pair from a drugstore and poke out the lenses. That's true. But Brilliant Labs says it's also working on a frame accessory that will be available in the future. Also, while the first Monocle devices to ship feature a transparent design, as you can see, with all components clearly visible, the team is considering an updated design for future Monocles that uses a frosted finish to obscure the electronics. So let's go back. Yes. Yes, I guess you see everything on the side here. You can find more details at the Monocle website. Yeah, and that's where I went. I clicked on it to take a look. So there it is, showing it. And when you click buy, it gives you the price. And it says now shipping in monthly batches. So I'm going to wait till I see somebody have this thing and make sure it works. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up getting this thing. So I just thought it was very cool. So that's the Brilliant Monocle. So maybe in a couple of months I'll have it. Maybe a bunch of us will have it. Who knows? Take it on read view. Let's stop screen for a second. Oh, Brian, thank you as always, sir. You're so very kind. Appreciate it very much, especially since I think my S23 Ultra is in Memphis and on its way here now. It seems, the funny thing is the Samsung website isn't updating, but for 3 days, FedEx tells me it's on the move from Samsung. And Anthony, my Project 13, he said he's seeing the same thing with his. So hopefully it'll be here Monday and your money will be going to good use. Yeah, I could see if I don't think I want to ride my bicycle with the Monocle, but it just fascinates me. I don't know why it fascinates me. The whole glasses thing kind of fascinates me. AR glasses anyway. But I'm thinking the Monocle, just to have it on one eye, I kind of like the idea of that. So anyway, my guess is I'll be getting it. So, right, none of the guys came in. Ted didn't come in. We didn't hear from Will, and I knew Mike wouldn't be coming in. So I'm going to go to the last thing that I always give you guys every week. Share screen. And we'll go down to glowing rectangles. So anybody who's new here, every week we end up telling you about glowing rectangles, which were started by some gadget guy, Juan Bagnell. He keeps this up to date, and it's a place where you can put a blog post or a video any day. And if you click on top, you'll see what got upvoted and what got, I don't know anybody who downvotes. But anyway, today The Honor Long 70 long-term review got 6 upvotes. Let's get the ad. Okay, Panfleonis Tech got 3 upvotes. Shouldn't have bought the Apple Watch Ultra. Okay. So if you or anybody you know does a blog or a video, you can post it here. He can post it. They can, she can post it, whoever it is. And you'll get more exposure, and you'll get people who will see it and maybe sign up for your channel that you didn't have before. So anyway, it's reddit.com/r/glowing rectangles. So I show you that every single week. Just want to make sure you guys see it. All right, I'm going to stop screen. Let's see. Oh, okay. Damone says, oh, well, happy 7th birthday to your kid, Renz. And I hope you make sure he has a real good time. Thank you for your donation. As always, say you're always very, very kind. So your kid gets a present and I get a present. I like that. And they're saying happy birthday to your kids. So a very happy birthday. I hope you and especially he has a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And of course, I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. And if you want to sign up for the Microsoft Bing, go to Microsoft. Well, just go to bing.com and there's a place you can sign up and they'll send you an email when it's ready, which they haven't sent me one yet, but they are sending some out to some people. Also, if you just want to try ChatGPT, if you go to OpenAI and sign up for it, that's how I got into it. And you can go ask your questions and that kind of stuff. So I hope everybody has a wonderful and blessed weekend. I hope Renz and this kid has a great, great weekend. And I will see you guys next week. And as I always say, let's remember we all do better when we love each other. See you next week, folks.